Okay. Let's talk about let's talk about something. We plan is that each of us we talking about four city, one by one and their strengths and weakness. After all the four city have been discussed, we can arrange the city in order. Okay. Okay. First, country who want to answer this city strengths or weakness and weakness want to first answer.
Me.
Okay, thank you.
I think the advantage is the large population, and the government will support 30%. Okay, but I think the disadvantage is that the transport is not good. Transport is very important because the product needs to be exported, and there are problems with politics. So bad things are easy to happen. This is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who want to next?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
As the situation of the country, I don't think it has many advantages. Only advantage is that the government will bear 30% of the cost of creating the factory. However, there are many disadvantages. First of all, it has a very high infection rate and unemployment rate, which leads to the instability of the local economy and the high mobility of workers, which is not conducive to the production of the factory. Second, we have to pay a very high business tax, and the local transportation is not good, which is not suitable for building a factory. Third, local labor conditions are not very good, so I don't think the it's appropriate to build a factory in the first country. Finish.
Thank you. Who want to next?
Can I go next?
Okay, thank you.
I think advantage is investment in the construction. Cost of information can lead to lower investment cost, but frequent traffic jams can interfere with workers' commute. Also, the inefficient operation of the port does not meet factory location conditions. Business tax are higher than in other regions. I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
Can I go next?
Okay.
Yes. I think the advantage is that the country A has geography with variety of features. Since each vehicle user wants to ride in a different place, so various geographic characteristics are required, and because each bicycle has a different purpose. And from an economic point of view, it's not bad, especially because the unemployment rate is the highest, so it can be easy to hire. And I think the disadvantage is that it is not good in terms of transportation. There are poor roads, so there are frequent traffic jams, and seaports are not running very efficiently. A new international airport has been built, but it may still be immature in that respect. Yeah.
Thank you. For me, in city, in terms of open population, the city has a moderate population and a good per capita GDP, which is suitable for the development of bicycle market. There are the variety of nature feature coupling with the changes accumulate throughout the year that make the city suitable for different bicycle rates. The city growth rate, inflation rate, and interest rate are in the good carried among the four cities. In terms of transport, the city has a good rail network, but the rail network is very bad, and there are often traffic jams. Uh, there are not the city is not a lot of skilled library in the library force, and bicycle works need a lot of training. The city thoroughly has not been recently, I think which I also attract more people to the factory for employment. The city also has some political programs, but the government will agree to develop the 30% of the income to the bicycle factory is I think is a unique advantage. Okay, thank you. This is my
Thank
opinion.
you.
Next, country B. Who want to answer first?
Me.
Okay.
As for the situation of the country B, first of all, it has very broad plan, which is suitable of building a large factory area. Second, according to its low inflation rate, low unemployment rate, and high economic growth rate, the local economy runs steadily and has a growing trend. Second, the country has very good modern transportation system, but the disadvantage is that the cost of handling goods is very high. The third point is about the state of government. The local tax rate is the lowest of the four countries, and the government has big incentives to build new factories. The biggest disadvantage is that local labor conditions are not very good, but it doesn't matter. Finished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who want to next?
Me.
Okay.
I think advantage is having flat land. Transportation is very good. We can see that there has international airport and two modern tables, so it's very good, but the laws are strict. Workers are well paid, but there are no skilled workers. Thank you.
Thank you. Who want to next?
Can I go next?
Yes, thank you.
I think advantage is Europe has a very high GDP. It is very easy to build a factory because of its high productivity and national income. It is also possible to create new jobs of European workers, but the lack of skilled labor makes it impossible to operate the factory smooth. There is also a disadvantage of high rate to handle charges. Yes, I'm finished.
Next me. I think the advantage is that country B has the highest GDP per capita. The high GDP is that country B has a high overall economic size and growth rate. So country B has the advantage of having a high economic growth rate. And country B has stable government. When doing business abroad, the government is also important because we are heavily influenced by the country's government. And next, disadvantage, it is very bad in terms of economy. Our economy rates are the lowest of 4 countries, so doing business in these countries is economically inefficient. Not only is the economic ratio bad, but also the important tax on cycle competence is high and the port charges are also high. And there is not much skilled labor, but the wage rate is high. So in country B, there will be a lot of costs and a small profit.
Okay, thank you. For me, in the country B, I think in terms of population, it has the smallest population among the 4 cities, but also the highest GDP in the 4 countries. I think it is an important factor for the development of the bicycle market. In terms of greater environment, the city has a very flat land, which is also suitable for single bicycle. Race can be held regularly in the city. In terms of transportation, the city has a good network and of roads and roads, as well as an international airport, which provide other conversations for transportation bicycle paths. However, the higher cost in terms of car handling cost is a disadvantage. The city seller have always wanted a high level, so you can continue to attract workers. There are tax credits for building a new factory, and I think this is the best city for a bicycle factory. Thank you. Next, country C. Who want to answer first?
Can I go first?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. The traffic around the summer, but where manage airport and major ports does not interfere with workers commuting, and the majority of them are in their 30s, which is a relative young age, so they can expect a young image. But the disadvantage is that the import tax is the highest among other regions, resulting in the least profit from investment and a strong trespass movement against international companies. Yes.
Okay, thank you. On to next.
Me.
Okay, thank you.
I agree with Pesong Hyung-si. I think the labor force is very young and plenty of skilled labor available. But the important taxi on bicycle parts is 35%, very expensive, and the network condition is not good. There are also protects against the international companies, so very bad. Thank you.
Thank you. On to next.
Me.
Okay.
About the third country, its economy is relatively stable and its tests are not very high. The traffic conditions are not particularly excellent. The labor force is great strength. It has a large number of skilled labor force, and the wage level is still low for the time being, which is conducive to reducing our operating costs. The biggest disadvantage is that the social is not very stable. I finished.
On to next.
Me,
Okay, thank you.
the country C has the advantage of having the highest growth rate among the 4 countries on last year. If the country's economy grows, the bicycle business will be able to grow economically. In addition, other economic ratios are good, so it can be an economically efficient business. And in terms of disadvantage, the disadvantage is that the import tax of cycle components is the highest among the 4 countries. So we have to pay a lot of taxes every time we import them. And there is a strong protest movement against international. Therefore, it can be difficult to enter the market in the country. So we have to plan a good management strategy.
Okay, thank you. For me, about country C, in my opinion, in the city's moderate population and the location of the north of the mountains, so the mountain bike race can be held in the country C. The coastal area have a flat terrain can host the bicycle terrace festival and bike races by the sea. The city's academical growth rate is the highest among the 4 cities, which is also contribute to the development of bicycle market income. Uh, However, the import tax on spare parts is also the highest among the 4 cities, and the high cost also affects the import of spare parts in the bicycle market. In terms of transportation, the port is easily accessible and has a small airport, but the road network requires a lot of investment. In terms of labor, the city has a large number of skilled labor and most of the young adults, which avail the program of labor. The city salary level is century low, but in recent years it grows rapidly. I think it is a good start. Thank you. Next, last country D. Want to answer first?
Me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. About the first country, first of all, its economic performance is not good. Inflation rate, unemployment rate, and the tax rate are relatively high. But the government gives a lot of incentives to build factories. Secondly, it has good transportation conditions, and it's still developing. It will be better. Third, there is a lot of local labor force, but it needed to be trained. Firstly, its biggest disadvantage is serious environmental population. Finish.
On to next.
Me,
Okay, thank you.
I think the advantage is the population is large and the factory is XMP from taxi for the 3 years, and the government support to improve traffic conditions. But air and water pollution is serious. I think this country very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Who on to next?
Me.
Okay, thank you.
Advantage is the airport is modern and well operated, making convenience for commuting and cheap to handle cargo, which helps operate the factory. In addition, it is convenience that there are already planned to improve the transportation system, but it can be troublesome because many documents are needed for new business and the problem of environmental pollution is serious. Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Can I go next?
Okay.
I think the advantage is that it has the largest population because the larger the population, the more people buy bicycle, which can lead to higher sales. And also, I think there are advantages in terms of transportation. The advantage is that there are several modern, well-known airports as well as low rates for handling cargo, and roads and rail networks are likely to be future improved in the future by government 5-year improvement program. And disadvantage is that GDP per capita is the lowest among the 4 countries. A high GDP means that country is an economic powerhouse. So because of its low GDP, country D can be judged to be a country with low economic growth potential. And there are the highest business tax on annual profit. So no matter how much profit we make, we have to pay that much tax. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. For me, about country D, the city's GDP is lowest among the 4 countries, and the inflation rate is also the largest. The city development focus will depend on how to carry out economic review, so the bicycle market is not suitable for development in this city. The city's incorporation sales tax has also directed many bicycle manufacturers from investing, and the city's road and road network also requires a lot of investment, and running the rest requires a lot of road which the city doesn't have. On the global side, the government with a 5-year plan for the workforce, and a lot of the poor unskilled workers occur to the long hours, turning should slow their global demand. The city salary rate is very weak, so it's not attractive to many people to come to investment. Although the government has equal access, it still cannot make up for the disadvantage. Last, and the city has the bicycle industry event, which can attract a lot of people to inquire in the bicycle industry, which is a unique adventure of the city. To the same up, I think this city is the best suitable city for setting up a bicycle factory. Thank you. Okay, we can start waiting in 4 cities orders. Okay. First, country who want to who do you think this country is the best choice? No. Okay. Who do you think country B is the best choice? Oh. Okay. Okay. Who do you think country C is the best choice? Okay. Who do you think country D is the best choice? Oh, okay. Sorry. Wait. Best choice. A is 0, B is 2, C is 1, D is 1. Okay.
B is 3.
B is 3. Oh, okay. Oh. Next, second choice, country, second choice. Okay.
No.
Country B. No. Okay. Country C. Okay. Country D. No. Okay. Now the second choice is A is 1, B 0, C 1, and D 0. I think contrary is the second choice. So A is 2.
Okay.
Okay. And next is the third choice. Who want to country is third choice? No. Okay. Country B. No. Country C. Okay. 3. Okay. And country D. Okay. 0. Oh, now it's country A 0, country B 0, country C has 3, country D has 0. Okay. Last choice. Country A 1, 2. Choice. No, 0. Okay.
We don't wrote the last. The last is D.
The last is D. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. Last choice is D. Now it's
We finished.
oh, okay. Now we can country B is the first choice, and country A is the second choice, and the country C is the third choice, and the last choice. Last choice is D. Okay. B A
Okay.
C D. Okay. Everybody, some question? Okay. Oh, sorry, not choice. Is the truth. C-H-O-S-E. Oh. Okay. We finished. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.